Hello, members and customers of Biashara Sacco. It's great to have you this evening. I want to welcome you all to this virtual learning this evening. And I want to repeat what one great mind once said, that you and I cannot become what we need to be by remaining what we are. It actually takes an effort to be what we want to be. And that effort begins with learning. When we learn, we overcome fear and we gain an abundant positive mindset. This is Biashara Sacco member training program, and a members training program is a key pillar and principle of our Sacco. Karibuni sana to this interactive session. We welcome you to actually give us your comments, your feedbacks, or even ask a question. My name is Washira Simon. I'm the Biashara DT Sacco Business Development Advisor and Trainer. I am joined by my co-anchors in this training program, and I will ask my two co-anchors to introduce themselves. One is the Operations Manager at Biashara Sacco. The other one is the Marketing Manager at Biashara Sacco. Karibuni sana, gentlemen, and they will be assisting us to answer some of your questions at the end of this session. The Sacco has adopted a virtual platform to enable more members participate in the learning program. This is one of the many sessions that we are going to have this year, as we are going to see as we proceed, simply because the Sacco values training of members, the feedback of members, the comments of members, and any question that a member may pose. And without further ado, we get down into the introductory bits of our training today. When you and I sleep, our minds relocate to dreamland. In dreamland, we experience uncontrolled events and occurrences. But when we rise, we encounter reality. When you have not learned, you are in dreamland, and you're not in control of what is happening. Be it your life, be it your business, be it anything happening around your environment. But when you learn, you take full control. You are awake. You are conscious of the reality. You therefore make appropriate decisions, and you have the capacity to solve any emerging problems or any issue that may be disturbing you. Kindly, I believe some of you may remember a popular song that was sung some time back in this country by the Maroon Commandos. The Maroon Commandos were singing to us, if I remember well, Amka Kumekucha. They were calling Kenyans to rise, to go and work, because they also knew that you cannot participate in development and growth if you're still asleep. Learning is a process of change and an integral part of growth and development. It helps us as people to improve our ecosystem and our well-being. Because it is through learning that we are enabled to make informed decisions. It is through learning that we correct bad habits and practices. It is in learning that we build capacities. Capacities for what? We build capacities to remember. Like they always say, binadamu ni kusahau. Most of the times, what you learned some time ago when you were in school and in college, you forget it. You need to remind yourself. If you have the capacity to remember, I think that's a great thing. Capacity to understand. The capacity to understand helps us to do things differently. Capacity to apply or to practice what we learn. Learning gives us capacity to analyze, or rather to relate what we know and what is practical. And learning gives us the capacity to evaluate or judge. And eventually it ends up giving us the capacity to create new knowledge and to encounter new truths. That's the beauty of learning. Why is learning important? Learning is so important because it is an integral part of our life. And we have an inherent desire to always improve. You can imagine of a situation if we were still living in those days of the Moi era, when in this country we didn't have technology. We couldn't communicate. We didn't have smartphones. But as time went on, and from our inherent desire to improve our environment, we now have this technology where we can remotely learn and engage one another. Learning is also important because the environment and the body of language is rapidly changing. For example, today, we all are using mobile phones. We all are a little bit more digital. If we are using smartphones, imagine a situation where you have an expensive smartphone, but you are unable to operate it. What I'm pointing at is, if you don't read the user's manual, if you don't learn from the user's manual, if you don't learn from your phone, you may not be able to make maximum use of that phone. That's how important learning is. The business environment, let's now come down to our area. The business environment is every time changing. Every day, there are new needs that are challenging us to adapt. There are emerging issues that are demanding that we align them with our businesses. So to match the emerging demands of our customers and the emerging needs of our businesses, we need to learn. And we cannot say that there will be an end to learning. To wind up the question of learning, I want to reflect on some thoughts or some truths that have been given by great people. One of those great people is a business magnate called Mary Catherine Batterson, who says, "We are not what we know, but what we are willing to learn. So what do we know? The knowledge we have is not enough. It's what we are willing to learn that makes us better people. And I want to turn on to the biblical one from Hosea verse 4, chapter 6, that states, "My people perish for lack of knowledge. And because they have rejected knowledge, I will also reject them." It is against this backdrop that this member training of Biashara DT Sacco is anchored. This training is anchored on these timeless truths. What is its purpose? Simple. We intend through this training to build Biashara Sacco members' capacities. So through a series of these trainings that we are going to have online, we are going to be trying to build the capacities of our members and customers so that we can enhance their abilities and capabilities to actively participate in the Sacco affairs or in the Sacco business. And also to adequately address individual business development needs and wants. So that's the purpose of this training, to build capacities. Let me say something small about capacities. I want to use the example of a car jack. Those of us who drive, you know that you cannot change your car tire without a jack. Different car jacks or vehicle jacks that do the heavy work of lifting the vehicle so that you can change the tire have different capacities. Some jacks can only lift 1 ton or half a ton, while others can lift up to 10 tons. That's what we refer to as capacity. Notably, however, the human brain has a huge and unexploited capacity. Your brain has immense capacity. And you can explore that capacity of your mind through learning. You can explore that capacity of your mind by sharpening your skills and by positively changing your attitudes. In fact, the Bible is very generous. Matthew 17:20, it says that you can move any mountain if you want it. You better go read Matthew 17:20 and see where Jesus is telling his followers the power they have, the power of faith. That's the capacity that our minds have. The objectives of this training, dear members and customers, is to create your awareness of our Sacco and the entire cooperative movement. In fact, we want to explore the cooperative identity so that we grasp it. And then we are not lost in the sea of financial institutions, so that we appreciate what a DT Sacco does for its customers and members. We will also be looking at the Sacco corporate governance and management and administration, so that you are able to freely and more actively engage with our Sacco. We will not do justice if we don't look into all our Sacco products and services. We would want to expose them to you. And that's also another objective that we have, and is going to be covered as we get along in the coming sessions. We'll be looking at the Sacco milestones milestone achievements and performances, and also the strategic direction. Why? Because we want our members and customers to be active participants, to engage with the direction the Sacco is taking. We'll be looking and analyzing the economic situation in our country so that we can see how we can do business in this environment. We'll be looking also at the investment opportunities that are there in this country. For us as business people, we'll be engaging in a variety of topics. So these are some of our many planned sessions to come. Let me now, members, ask you, what were your expectations when you joined our Sacco? When you registered as a member, when you paid for registration, when you also opened an account with us, what were your underlying expectations? Because at the end of the day, we'll be asking ourselves, are we meeting your expectations? And are we giving you what you deserve? Bottom line, members, however, I think we all opened accounts and became members and shareholders because we wanted to make money. You wanted to multiply the little money you have so that you get more. That's the bottom line. But besides the bottom line, you expected to be facilitated to make better profits and sustain your business. You joined the Sacco specifically because you wanted financial services and products. You also wanted higher returns on your investments. That's why you became a shareholder. That's why you bought shares. That's why you did your savings, because you wanted some good returns on that. You wanted an opportunity for lower interest rates on credit facilities. So you joined us because you had, or you are aware, that we offer low interest credit facilities. I'm sure that's why you came. Most significantly, you joined us because you wanted an efficient and effective service, such as money transfers or services of paying bills at the touch of your button and stuff like that. You basically wanted a positive customer experience. And I can add, maybe this was not on your menu, but you also needed a partner who could accompany you, give you advisories, give you training and education. Even if it was not on your menu, I'm adding that. Well, having said that, you had expectations. The Sacco had expectations too. The Sacco expected you to be a diligent and an honest member or customer. It may not have been written anywhere, but that was an expectation from this institution. The Sacco expects and still expects you to be an active saver, an active borrower. And they expect you to be effective and efficient in your credit repayment. The Sacco expects you to patronize its services and products. The Sacco will always expect you to participate actively in the Sacco affairs such as meetings, welfare, education, and training. And when I say actively participate, even if it means listening, even if it means giving a comment, even if it means giving some feedback, positive or whatever, the Sacco expects you to own and identify with it. In fact, the Sacco looks forward to you being its ambassador. So the Sacco looks forward to an engagement, a friendship, a partnership that engages both sides. The Sacco expects a proactive contribution of constructive ideas for growth and development. Because, as we are going to see in the identity, the Sacco is basically not a commercial institution. The Sacco expects compliance of the members and customers with the Sacco bylaws and Cooperative Act rules and regulations. These are some of the many things that the Sacco too expects. And having said that, members and customers, we are going to take a short break before we enter into the gist of the matter by looking at one prelude of some of the Sacco products. Karibuni sana. Okay.
Biashara Sacco vision banner, and our vision is to be the best and unique Sacco and financial service provider nationally. In fact, we have esteemed to have realized some of this, and we hope we are going to receive and to meet our mission. So you can see that immediately the money is saved in the account. The customer receives the receipt and the indication that the money is inside his account.
And our member, you are supposed to open an account and save for 3 good months. And then you also save at least 30% for us to finance you 70%.
We also have fire accident insurance, where it covers building.
If you have a good plan and we realize that you can make the most out of farming, we'll produce. We'll open for you a Wakulima account, and once you have a Wakulima account, we'll give you something known as Wakulima loan.
And from Biashara Sacco, we are benefiting. They are financing even the company with loans and helping the farmers which will buy products.
So welcome to Biashara Sacco on banking sector. Hereby we deposit and withdraw cash. We deposit as little as 50 bob, and it's free to deposit any amount. And also we do withdrawals in our bank. We also have
welcome back, members. Like we have said in the introduction, this is an interactive training, and we are looking forward to your many comments and questions. At the end of this brief session, we are going to respond to those issues that you are raising in the comment section. So kindly please put forward any issue that you may have or any comment that you may have, and we'll be looking into that shortly. We want to start our training by looking at the concept of the cooperative identity. To look at an identity of an institution, we have to begin by looking at who people are. people are controlled by two opposite spirits. In life, we are controlled by the good or the evil spirit. The good spirit is associated with God, the ultimate source of goodness. In any religion, the good spirit is associated with God. It is this spirit that generates all the good found or displayed by people. When you are seen doing good, you are associated with having the good spirit. This is the natural attraction to be and to do good to others. And it is this spirit that gives us the values. Let me focus on two values: the value of unity and cooperation. These are two great values that are part and parcel of the good spirit. When people talk about the spirit of the law, they refer to the intent and purpose of the law. Normally you'll hear lawyers talk about the letter and the spirit of the law. The letter is what is written, but the spirit is the intent and purpose. Other than the spirit, let's also look at another element of human beings. People are born and raised in social settings. We all are born in families. We are brought up in families. We are brought up in schools. We are brought up in our regions and in our neighborhoods, in social settings. It is within this social setting that we grow and develop. And when I talk about growing and developing, in as far as growth is concerned, I'm talking about the physical and biological changes of a human body. And when I talk about development, I'm referring to the character or the mental formation of a person. The social setting is the foundation of value and character, or the spirit that guides behavior. Let me use an example here. If you go to the rural areas and you encounter a community where the community suffers because of scarcity of water, members of that community will most likely come together to sort out their issue of scarcity of water. What will they do? They will unite. They will make something like an organization to access water for their community. They will cooperate to realize their goal, to bring water to their village. So they will unite and cooperate to make that a reality. And I have seen many communities in this country that have done wonderful projects just because of unity and cooperation. We can name so many. Some communities have done bridges, others have done so many big things. In fact, most of our schools are done by communities as a result of unity and cooperation. Let me go to another example. If you look at nature, because nature is a wonderful teacher, I want to look at two things here. We have the migratory birds that fly many kilometers, many kilometers. Some fly from Europe all the way down south. And those migratory birds, they take turns in a V-shaped formation that enable each bird to fly at the same pace with others. If they notice one of the birds is weak, It is given a position in the V shape. And eventually all of them arrive to their destination. And they will make a similar journey back home again after a season. The same happens. Let me come closer home. Look at the migratory wild beasts in the Mara. They cross River Mara together. They cross River Mara together because they want to mitigate the risk of crocodiles, the risk of death. If the birds and the wild beasts in the Mara can reduce risk and support each other in their migration for the good of all, how important would it be for us as human beings to unite and cooperate and to do greater things for ourselves? Biashara Sacco is in form and nature a cooperative society. And cooperative societies are built on those two great values. Why do I say it is in nature and form a cooperative society? Because number one, it is registered by the Ministry of Cooperative Development and Marketing. Now it's changed, but when it was being registered, it was the Ministry of Cooperative and Development and Marketing. And it is registered as a cooperative society. It is a member of the International Alliance of Cooperatives. Actually, it is a member of the many local unions, like the Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, which links it up to the National Alliance and eventually to the regional and international cooperative movement. It subscribes to the international cooperative values, ethical beliefs, and principles. So in short, the Sacco is a cooperative, first and foremost. Before we move to something else, Biashara Sacco is a cooperative society. In the statement of identity, a cooperative is defined as an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and a democratically controlled enterprise. Now, we find the word here at the end, enterprise. And encountering that word tells me that Biashara Sacco is not only a cooperative, it is also a corporate institution, an enterprise, a business, a people's business. So that is the number one thing. To explain that a little bit, to explain that definition a little bit, we say that a cooperative is a people-centered business. It is owned, it is controlled, and it is run by the people. It is run by the members. It is run by the members to realize their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations. Just like the wild beasts or the migratory birds, the people having come together, united, and in cooperation, they sort their problems together. It brings people together in a democratic and equal manner by observing one member, one vote rule. To explain further, the cooperative business is driven by value, not just profit. I have said that Biashara Sacco is one, a cooperative, and two, a corporate. Yes, it is a business, but does not only look at profits. It looks at the needs of the members. It looks at the aspirations of the members. So it has these shared internationally agreed values and principles to build a better world. It is good to note, members and customers, that cooperatives always allow people to take control of their economic future. And because they are not commercial per se, the benefit of their businesses stay in the community where they are established. Once the members have enjoyed what has come out of their business, the residue is shared with their communities. A certain small percentage is shared with their communities. Profits generated are either invested in enterprise or returned to members as dividends. That happens. And a percentage of that goes into the needs of the community. This is the difference, and the big difference between a cooperative corporate enterprise with commercial enterprises. The cooperative is autonomous, meaning it is independent. It is independent. It has no bigger hand controlling it. It is not controlled by outside forces. To explain that, it is regulated by government, but it is not controlled. It is not told, these are going to be your needs, these are going to be your aspirations. It is independent in that sense. It does not discriminate on the basis of race, gender, ethnicity, or religion. And the movement has, like we have said earlier, the cooperative movement have an international alliance, the International Cooperative Alliance, which was founded in 1895. So cooperatives were not founded yesterday. The other day there was a lot of hurarabaloo in this country because of a few problems emerging from some quarters. And very many people thought that this was the end of the DT Saccos. I want to assure members that cooperatives began from a need, from a community need, back in the 1895. And they have withstood the test of time. The movement has an estimated, today, an estimated 1 billion members around the world. 1 billion members. And it employs directly or indirectly approximately 250 million people around the world. And with a global turnover of about 2.2 trillion US dollars. This is a movement that is there to live. The movement started at a place called Fenwick, Scotland, earlier than the date I have mentioned, in around 1761, where local weavers began selling oatmeal at discounted prices, forming the Fenwick Weaver Society. So you see, it humbly started from a need, from a community need. People came together. And as that Scotland cooperative moved on, other cooperatives around Europe embraced the idea, and they continued to build until the time the International Cooperative Alliance was built. So the first modern cooperative started in 1844 with a group of 28 artisans who were working in a cotton mill in the town of Lockadale in the north of England. And they are the ones who are called the Lockadale Equitable Pioneer Society. So that can be considered to be the genesis of the cooperative movement. Actually, these artisans just decided to pool their scarce resources and working together to access basic goods at lower prices. Here in Africa, we have wonderful examples and bigger examples than the Lockadales. So in a nutshell, we can say, from a very humble beginning, the movement has spread across the world, and it has resonated very well with some of the African initiatives that we know. I personally can remember when I was young, our mothers were doing houses for one another. They were joining their human labor together to build huts for every member. And if that was not a cooperative, then I don't know what a cooperative is. So from these humble beginnings, the movement has spread across the world and covers all sectors, from agriculture, trade, transport, and very many others. Now, I don't want to go too much onto the history of the cooperative movement, but I want to look at the agreed values of the cooperative. The cooperative movement is driven by the values of self-help or pulling together, what we refer to in this country as Harambee, although that spirit has been abused in very many ways. The spirit is, come, let us pull together. Let's join our hands. Let us put our resources together to realize something that has a bigger impact, that can outgrow us. Then the other value is the value of self-responsibility, or rather the value of accountability. If you belong to a cooperative, if you belong to a self-help group, every member is accountable. Every member is responsible to the other members, to the group. Then the other great value is the value of democracy. And the value of democracy, and I don't want to look at democracy from a political point of view. Democracy as a value is where you listen to one another. Democracy can be exercised either by voting or by consensus. You listen to each other. You have the buy-in, the buying-ins, and you eventually agree. And that is the spirit of self-help, self-responsibility, and self-accountability. Then, of course, we have the value of equality and equity. Two concepts. We all want to be equal. But then it happens that some of us are not tall enough to reach our height. So we provide them with a stool to reach at our level so that we can be treated equally. That's equity in a nutshell. And then the other most significant value of the cooperative is the value of solidarity. There's nothing that we can do without feeling responsible for each other, without supporting each other. These are the cardinal values of the cooperative movement, and Biashara Sacco subscribes to those ones. Then, of course, there are the ethical beliefs that drive the cooperative movement. The most fundamental beliefs are honesty. If you come to be a member or a customer of the Sacco movement, you are binding yourself to be honest. I know honesty has become so scarce. And over the years and in history, people have betrayed each other because of the ethical belief of honesty. Back again to the spirit that I talked about earlier, the good spirit, the intent and purpose. Our intent and purpose is the good spirit, the spirit of God, to be honest. That's the guiding spirit. To care for one another. To really care that our member has not gotten A, B, C, D. And for our member to feel a real member, he needs to be supported. For a reminder, even our Sacco has a welfare where we care for each other. Then the other ethical belief is the belief of openness. Openness. We don't hide cards under the table. We are not in a casino where you are hiding some cards under the table. Yes, we are an enterprise, but it's not the style of gambling where you hide things. We do things in the open. And then, of course, we are socially responsible. We are responsible for our environment. We are responsible for our communities. We are responsible for our villages. Those are the cardinal ethical beliefs of a cooperative society, and Biashara Sacco subscribes to that. Then, of course, we have the 7 principles, the cooperative principles. Voluntary and open membership. Back again to non-discrimination. We welcome in Biashara Sacco anyone who wants to become a member and who wants to abide by our rules and regulations. As long as you subscribe to what we put before you, you are most welcome. We cannot discriminate you. We have open membership. As long as you share in the common bond. Democratic member control. That's another principle that we exercise every day when we appoint our board of directors and the supervisory committee. We vote for them, and every member has 1 vote. No member has 10-5 votes. There was a time in this country a few years ago when this suggestion was floated that we should be having super savers who would have more say in the Sacco than others. And that suggestion flopped simply because it was negating the principle of democratic member control. Then number 3, of course, there is the member economic participation. Every member is free to contribute, to make contributions, and to participate actively in the economic affairs. Yes, by borrowing loans, by developing your own enterprises, individual enterprises. We empower you to participate economically. Then, of course, there is number 4 principle of autonomy and independence. We are self-governed. There's a difference between governance and regulation. Yes, we are regulated. We are oversighted by the Commissioner of Cooperatives. Agreed. Very true. We are regulated by SASRA. Very true. But that does not mean that we are told you have to govern this way. Members hold the final say. They say we are going to be governed this way. Then, of course, the principle of education, training, and information. Very, very important, because members are the owners of the corporate. So sharing information, creating awareness is critical. Then number 6, cooperation among cooperatives. As members of the cooperative movement, say in Nyeri here, for example, where Biashara Sacco headquarters are, there are so many other DT Saccos. We have to engage and talk to each other on matters cooperative, on matters DT Sacco. That is cooperation among cooperatives. We are not enemies. We are not competitors. We are peers. And then number 7, concern for community. And that is what drives us to corporate social responsibility. And as time goes by, we will be discussing this, because it's an important thing where we will want members and our customers to contribute to the ideas so that we can grow a more sustainable corporate social responsibility. Having said that, I want to conclude this discussion on cooperative identity. And I want to conclude by saying Biashara DT Sacco subscribes to the international cooperative values, ethical beliefs, and principles. In fact, Biashara Sacco has integrated and aligned those values in its bylaws, in its policies and practices. And that is what forms and guides the spirit of governance, management, and administration of the Sacco. In short, the Sacco is in form and nature both a cooperative society and a corporate enterprise, accountable first to its members and to the regulating authority. With those few remarks, members, I want now to invite my co-anchors to speak to us, and any question that they got from you, they will be able to respond to it. I therefore welcome our marketing manager, Bwana Elijah, to share with us.
Good evening, our viewers, our members, wherever you are. My name is Elijah Nguhoidaka, the Operations Manager, Biashara Sacco. I'm sure and I hope that everybody has been enriched by that powerful presentation we have had from our moderator. And my expectation is that all of us have been enriched, our members and our potential members, wherever you are, that we have been enriched on the understanding of the cooperative movement and precisely on the deposit-taking SACCOs like Biashara Sacco. Today, we just wanted to create awareness of Biashara DT Sacco and what we stand for in terms of making the cooperative principles be understood better by our members and even the prospective members that we look forward to recruit. And I cannot close that without saying that Biashara Sacco currently operates 14 branches and 4 satellites in over 10 counties in the country. And we look forward to touching each and every part of our country, Kenya, in all the counties, the 47 counties that we have. We will look forward to have branches all over so that we can be able to reach all Kenyans of goodwill that would like to join the cooperative movement through joining of the Sacco. And lastly, as highlighted by the moderator, Bwana Simon, one of the principles is on the education to our members, which we really invest in so much. That's why we are opening up this platform of online members education so that we can enrich the members and even those who are in the diaspora that cannot be able to attend physical education forums when we have them here around. And as we look to spread our wings, we also want to grow together with members of goodwills, with prospective members who are desirous or are willing to be members of a cooperative movement and in per se members of Biashara DT Sacco. We have so many products, and as highlighted in the coming sessions, maybe another day, we shall now come and narrow down on the products and the services that the Sacco offers, including the services of corporate social responsibility that we have with our community or to our community. And with that, I hope we have enlightened everyone. And if you have any question, any comment, any feedback, please feel free to do so through our social media channels. We shall be very bold to answer to your challenges, to your questions, to your comments. This time I hand over to the marketing manager, Mr. Joguna. Maybe he has a word or two before we close down. Thank you.
Thank you, my co-guest, our operations manager, our moderator, Mr. Wachira. We are happy as Biashara Sacco to have reached out to you. You have already been educated on how the cooperative movement started and how Biashara Sacco is as a cooperative. We, of course, know that information is power, and because of this, I know you have been empowered. We're also going to do this one in other sessions. So we hope that you, the listener, the viewer, and any one of you who was with us will now invite a friend, a parent, a brother or a sister, and any other member who may be interested with our products. We are welcome to listen to us and to view us. Already, Mr. Achira has built the capacity concerning your understanding of the cooperative movement. We as Biashara Sacco have designed products that will fit you, your endeavors. I would wish that you look for this space to be more enlightened. Otherwise, I take this time to thank you for listening to us, and I hand you back over to the moderator, Mr. Wachira.
Thank you very much, our co-anchors and our members and customers. We are looking forward to letting you know when our next session will be on, and we hope you will invite another guest so that we can all participate. We'll be looking forward precisely for more questions, for more comments, so that we can even improve. And until then, bye for now.